Good morning, everyone. On this Tuesday in the 33rd week in Ordinary Time, we are in the first book, actually the second book of Maccabees. So we were in First Maccabees, now we're in Second Maccabees today. So this is an interesting thing. We are in Second Maccabees in chapter 6, verses 18 through 31. Eleazar, one of the foremost scribes, a man of advanced age and noble appearance, was being forced to open his mouth to eat pork. But preferring a glorious death to a life of defilement, he spat out the meat and went forward of his own accord to the instrument of torture, as people ought to do when they have courage to reject the food which is unlawful to taste, even for love of life. Those in charge of the unlawful ritual meal took the man aside privately because of their long acquaintance with him and urged him to bring meat of his own providing, such as he could legitimately eat, and to pretend to be eating some of the meat of the sacrifice prescribed by the king. In this way, he would escape the death penalty and be treated kindly because of their old friendship with him. But Eleazar made up his mind in a noble manner, worthy of his years, the dignity of his advanced age, the merited distinction of his gray hair, and of admirable life he had lived from childhood. And so he declared that above all, he would be loyal to the holy laws given by God. He told them to send him at once to the abode of the dead, explaining, at our age, it would be unbecoming to make a pretense. Many young people would think the 90-year-old Eleazar had gone over to an alien religion. Should I thus pretend for the sake of a brief moment of life? They would be led astray by me, while I would bring shame and dishonor on my old age. Even if, for the time being, I avoid the punishment of men, I shall never, whether alive or dead, escape the hands of the Almighty. Therefore, by manly giving up my life now, I will prove myself worthy of my old age, and I will leave to the young a noble example of how to die willingly and generously for the revered and holy laws. Eleazar spoke thus and went immediately to the instrument of torture. Those who shortly before had been kindly disposed now became hostile toward him because what he had said seemed to them utter madness. When he was about to die under the blows, he groaned and said, "The Lord in his holy knowledge knows full well, although I could have escaped death, I am not only enduring terrible pain in my body from this scourging, but also suffering it with joy in my soul because of my devotion to him." This is how he died, leaving in his death a model of courage and an unforgettable example of virtue, not only for the young, but for the whole nation. The word of the Lord. Thanks be to God. We left off last week with this whole situation, kind of the setting of what First and Second Maccabees was, what they are entailing, and that a lot of folks under peer pressure were being pushed, as it were, to violate the law of God. And we have now today a living example of one who said, no, I will not bow down to your idols. I will not be participatory even in pretending. Pretending is even worse, just by trying to get away so that a few more months of my life would be spared. No. The holy name of God would be mocked. Lived after God for all these years, and now I just kind of say goodbye to it and say, no, I'm not going to continue. I'm just going to go along even if it's pretending. No, I won't go that way. What an example. It's a profound example, and I'm reminded of some of those in the early church who were the same way when they came to the opportunity of whether they could bow down to the emperor and what the emperor wants or follow after the Lord. They followed after the same example of Eliezer. It's worth contemplating, folks. Stay safe, folks, and we'll see each other soon. Bye for now.